My name is Elisa, and for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be a mom. That has been something that I just knew was a calling of mine. It was my purpose in life. But unfortunately, the journey to motherhood has not been what I thought it would be. I've had this feeling that I just need to share this with the world. I want to share my story in case someone's going through that currently or has gone through it. This is something that happens, unfortunately. I feel like getting this story out is going to help me heal as well. So let me just start off by saying that ever since I was about 16, 17 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a mom. My goal in life has always been to be a mom. I always knew that I just wanted to be a mom, that was like my calling, my purpose in life was to be a mother. I just felt it. I knew if I ever did anything in this life, all I wanted was to be a mom. Even in my career choices and when I went to college, I got a degree in early childhood education. I was a preschool teacher for about 8 years. I'm still currently in the field and I just love being around kids. I've always loved being around kids. I loved teaching them and seeing them grow. I just knew that was my calling. I don't know how else to explain it. I even remember, this is something to just remember for later on in the video, but one day I remember I was teaching in a preschool class with a coworker, a really good friend, and I remember telling her, I want to have twins. Like when I have babies, whenever that day comes, I want to have twins. And so just remember that keynote because later on in the video, you'll kind of see why I said that. I found out that I was pregnant for the first time. So I'm 28 now. So I was about 26 years old or about to turn, I was 25 turning 26 when I first got pregnant. I found out I was pregnant a few days before I was going on a trip with my boyfriend. So what led me to take this pregnancy test? For a few weeks, I've been feeling super, super bloated. I would wake up in the morning and like my morning skinny was not skinny. Like I felt bloated right when I woke up. Actually, one point last week, me and Johnny went to go eat sushi, and after I ate that sushi, my belly was so hard and like bloated and like I was like, what is this? Like, this is not normal. I've never felt like this before. I've also been feeling super tired lately, and Johnny was like just take a test before we leave and make sure you're not pregnant. Little did I know I was. One other weird thing was I feel like I'm definitely more than a month pregnant, but because my period that I was supposed to have 2 weeks ago, or that I did have, I don't know, I was spotting for like 4 days, and I just thought like, oh, I'm just having a light period. Like I never missed that period. I just had it very light. But then I've been spotting, oh, that's another thing, I've been spotting since, like some like on and off days, and I'm like, why am I still spotting? It's been 2 weeks since my period. And that's another reason why I decided to take the pregnancy test. So we got one like the next day, and I took the pregnancy test and I saw the 2 lines. I was pregnant, and I just remember we were like so shocked, but we were also very happy. So I thought I would make a little vlog. This is the next day after I found out. I am waiting for the doctor to call me so I can schedule my first prenatal appointment. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I don't even like believe that this is real right now. I took 2 tests to make sure, and those things lit up. These were the things I was thinking about. I remember at that time I was like, oh my God, this is real. Like, we're pregnant. We're gonna have to find an apartment. We're gonna have to find a bigger car. My first thought was I need to go to the hospital and like just make sure, have them do all the blood tests and the urine tests and whatever else they needed to do. And I didn't want to tell anybody yet because I just wanted to be sure that I was actually pregnant and that things were okay. Like the baby was healthy and like I was doing the right things. I went to the doctors. They said, yes, they confirmed you're pregnant. I told them that I would be going on a trip. And then they said they can't really do anything else anyways because I wasn't far enough along yet where they could do the first trimester visit, which is like when they do the first ultrasound and all of that. So that was coming up at the end of the month. So I think I had to wait like 2.5 weeks after I found out to then do the first ultrasound and make sure everything was okay. And we were planning to tell our family and our close friends like right after, like the next day after that visit, and we were planning on how we were going to tell them. And it was just really exciting and new, and we were like just ready to embrace everything that came along with it. When we were on our trip, we were doing like a lot of walking, and I started to feel very, very tired. So I laid down for a little bit, and then I hopped in the shower, and as I was walking out of the shower, wrapping the towel around me, I remember this so vividly. I look down and I see blood. I start to freak out and Googling like, what does a miscarriage feel like? What does it look like? How much blood? All of these things, I started to really freak out. I call the doctor. They say like, if it's not accompanied with any pain, then you should be fine. But just keep an eye on it. Make sure that you're not bleeding, this much and this amount of time. And so I'm watching it, but I'm still really nervous. I'm like, I really just don't feel like this is normal. This can't be normal. Like, am I having a miscarriage? The doctors also say, they can't really do much if there's no pain. They just say we really have to just wait till that first trimester visit so that we can see what's really going on. So those 2 weeks were the longest 2 weeks of my entire life. In those 2 weeks, I was like spotting. It was every time that I went to use the bathroom and I wiped, that's when I would see it. Finally, the 2 weeks are up and it's time for us to go to our first trimester appointment, first ultrasound. I'm like very hopeful. I'm just hoping that the baby's good and this is just something that'll pass. They do the regular ultrasound, and then they do a transvaginal ultrasound, and then they have us sit in the waiting room. We waited for like 45 to an hour. It was a really long wait, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why are we waiting for so long? Finally, the nurse comes out and tells us that we immediately have to go to the nearest emergency room. I don't even think they told me at that point what was happening. They just said I really needed to go and that they couldn't tell me much, that they would let me know in the emergency room what was going on. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, I'm thinking I'm probably just miscarrying, and I don't know. I've never done this before. So I was just like really freaking out. I was nervous. I'm like, am I going to be okay? All of these things are crossing my mind, and I'm kind of just like in a panic state, not knowing what's about to happen next. We get to the emergency room. They check me in and they take me into one of the emergency rooms. And finally, a doctor slash surgeon and her assistant come in to talk to me and tell me what's going on. And she tells me that I am having an ectopic pregnancy. She tells me I'm having an ectopic pregnancy and that it's not just one, it's 2. I'm having a twin ectopic pregnancy. And so she breaks down what an ectopic is, because at this point I have no idea what she's talking about and what that is and what that means. A fertilized egg implants itself outside of the uterus where you can't successfully have a pregnancy. So I had 2 fertilized eggs in my left fallopian tube, and one of them had a heartbeat. One of them had a heartbeat already. All at the same time, I found out that I was having twins, but that I wasn't having them, and that because I was so far along, they couldn't treat it with any medicine, and that they had to do an emergency surgery to remove my left fallopian tube with my 2 fertilized eggs. All at once, I got this information, and I had to make the call to my family and let them know that 1, I was pregnant, 2, I was currently in the hospital about to get emergency surgery because I couldn't really explain it because of everything going on. So like I could just imagine now how they were feeling then, like not really knowing what's going on. I didn't know you were pregnant. Now you're not pregnant anymore and you're getting surgery. Like like it was just so much. It was a hard pill to swallow. That was the worst day of my life, I think. Yeah, I think so. Okay. They caught it at the perfect time because it hadn't ruptured yet. And I know with a lot of ectopics, when people find out, it's because there's a rupture. And if that happens, your life is in danger. It is life-threatening and it's painful. And I don't know, I've heard really bad horror stories and people have passed away from ectopic pregnancies that they didn't know. So I am so grateful every single day to God that I never felt any pain with my ectopics and I was successfully able to remove my fallopian tube. Surgery went well and I recovered well. So the recovery was pretty hard physically and mentally for sure, but physically it was pretty hard. I was in so much pain and I couldn't get out of bed by myself. Like I couldn't physically like stand myself up, but I had the best support team, my mom and my boyfriend and my brothers and my friends and my dad, and every single one of them were so amazing. And they were there to help me every step of the way. Johnny, my boyfriend, he helped me countless nights where I couldn't get out of bed and I had to go pee, and he would literally just be right there helping me up every step of the way. Bathroom situation, definitely if you're going through this, make sure to take those stool softeners because you're gonna need it. I went through a horrible experience because I took them but I wasn't taking them as needed. I was walking around the house trying to just get my steps in and, you know, exercise the pain away, kind of. They gave me like a whole list of things to do and medication to take. And oh my God, Johnny was the best. He would literally like time when I have to take all of my medications and he would give me what I needed to take at what time. And he was amazing. He was like my nurse. And even though he was going through his own loss and grief, while I was recovering, I didn't really have the mental capacity to even like process what had just happened because I think I was just so focused on feeling better physically that I didn't process my mental and what had actually happened after I physically felt better, if that makes sense. Everyone around me kept reminding me like, you know, this happened, but this doesn't mean it's the end. Even the doctors, they said you still have your right fallopian tube, so you can still get pregnant with just one fallopian tube. Like that is not an issue. It's one of those things where people can say whatever, but if they haven't physically gone through it, they really don't know what you're feeling like. But I still had hope. I can still have a successful pregnancy in the future. By the end of that year, I got pregnant again. I think it was around November of that same year. I don't know what led me to take the pregnancy test exactly, but I think I had just felt like some symptoms, and so I took a pregnancy test, and again, it came out positive, and I think I have a video of that, so I will pop that in here.
October 31st.
It's Halloween.
Halloween.
I'm in my uniform. You want to look at it together? All right, I'm going to look. 1, 2, 3. Look, look.
Yo, that is fucking crazy.
We're leaving to Atlanta
2 days.
2 days.
This is deja vu. Yo. You want me? You want me to pause?
I remember, again, we were so happy. We couldn't believe that we were pregnant again. And we were like, oh my God. But there was also just that fear in the back of my head that it could be another ectopic. This time around, the doctors were a lot more, I guess, vigilant. As soon as I told them that I was pregnant, they confirmed it again, and they were going to do blood tests and make sure that my hormone levels were rising appropriately, because I guess if they don't, that's how they could tell if an ectopic or a miscarriage is happening. I just remember I was going to the doctors a lot and getting a lot of blood work done. I wasn't feeling great. I felt something was off. I was feeling like certain sharp little pains. They tried to do an early ultrasound, but they couldn't see anything. And then they sent me to a different doctor where they are more specialized. I went there and they told me they can't really see anything, but due to all of my symptoms and the way that my hormone levels were rising, which was very slowly, they thought it was another ectopic, and they actually confirmed it. And I think I have a video recording when they told me. The last thing they told me was that it's possibly a miscarriage or another ectopic, but they weren't exactly sure.
It seems like it's gone up a little bit, but haven't had quite the rises that we would expect for what we would typically see in pregnancy. And just to review, I understand you had that pain previously that brought you to the emergency room.
Yeah.
But it sounds like with the exception of some brown spotting, you've been feeling fairly normal.
Yeah. So yes, I was, during that second pregnancy, I was in a little bit of pain. And again, the spotting that I was seeing in the first pregnancy. So that again led me to believe that I was having another ectopic. That led the doctors to believe I was having another ectopic. And that's kind of what she's saying here.
Unfortunately, though, we're not seeing a normal pregnancy inside the uterus.
Yeah.
And we actually did see another ectopic pregnancy on the right side, in the right tube, that we were able to confirm today. I'm really sorry to be giving you that information.
Basically, they just let me know that they did find another ectopic and that it was in the right fallopian tube. But they said, fortunately, they caught it so early on that they could treat it with methotrexate. They gave me the methotrexate, and then once you do methotrexate, they have to monitor your hormone levels like every 48 to 72 hours. So I was going in for blood work every 2 days, and they just make sure that the hormone levels are now decreasing how they're supposed to and go back to zero. So I did that, and so they said it's very common that this first dose of methotrexate might not work fully, and a lot of the times we do have to give a second dose of methotrexate, and that's what ended up happening. And they kind of just inject you in your thigh butt area. Honestly, I just felt a little bit of uncomfortability. Other than that, it really wasn't that painful. The only side effect that I felt like I did get from the methotrexate was acne, really bad hormonal acne in my cheeks, my chin, and I even still have some of the scarring. It's definitely going away and clearing up now, but it took a very long time. But other than that, the methotrexate worked fine for my body, and it did work. After that, I was like, okay, we cannot get pregnant again. I can't go through this again. But the doctors kept saying, you still have your right fallopian tube. Rarely this happens 3 times in a row. The percentage is really low that you'll have another ectopic. My third pregnancy happened in December of 2024, so almost a year ago. This time, I took the pregnancy test by myself one morning because I was feeling some symptoms. I was feeling very bloated one morning, and my boobs are like extra sensitive, and I think I had missed my period, so that was like, my period is always on time. So I remember I was feeling that at night. And I had an extra pregnancy test laying around. So I was going to take it that night, but then I remember your urine is best like in the morning. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this test before I go to work tomorrow morning. I just woke up. It's 7:13 and I feel pregnant. I know the feeling of being pregnant, and I've also missed my period. My last period was November 5th. It's now December 4th and I still don't have my period, and my period is always super on point. I took a pregnancy test that I found, the last one that I had, and I just took it with using my morning pee because they say that your morning pee is like the most accurate. So I took it and I haven't looked at it yet. I'm so nervous. Okay. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Okay. Oh my God. Oh. I knew it. Oh my God. How am I gonna go to work? I don't know what to do. My other two pregnancies were ectopics, and they did not go well. And I went through a lot during those times. And I just don't want to go through that again. I'm gonna figure out a way to tell Johnny. I don't even think I can really go to the doctors. Like, it's still too early. I was so hopeful. I was like, third time is the charm. There's like no way that I would have another ectopic after having two, like a third ectopic. No way. I just had so much hope. I was like, this is it. Third time's the charm. Like, I know it. So I was planning on how I was gonna tell him. I even recorded it and did a whole little video. I'll insert that here. Alright, so I have to do this so quick, but I'm about to show Johnny the pregnancy test that I took this morning. He's in the car downstairs. I had to come up and say that I forgot something, and yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. It's right here, and I need to figure out where I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in my Prada case. I think it'll fit right in there. I'm gonna put it in like, oh my God, it does. Oh yes, it doesn't close. Hold on, let's see if I can make it. Okay. All right, I got it to close. I'm gonna wrap this up in wrapping paper and then I'm gonna give it to him and just tell him that it's like an early Christmas gift. Okay, I have it wrapped up. I'm just gonna tell him that it's an early Christmas gift and that I'm gonna record his reaction opening it. I got you a Christmas gift, an early Christmas gift. Since you got me an early Christmas gift.
I can open this?
Yeah, open it.
Christmas is for the gifts. Ooh, let's see some shades? Some Prada shades? Oh, you trying to get... Oh, wait, what's this? Wait, what the fuck is this? Wait, what the fuck, babe? You took a test today? And you came back positive? Holy shit. What the fuck? Yo, that is crazy. Yo.
As you can see, we were super excited, and so obviously we still had a little bit of fear in the back of our mind because we know what could be. We went to the hospital. The doctors said, you know, they were going to do what they did last time and just track the hormone levels, make sure they're doubling and rising appropriately. So they did that, and for a while they were rising appropriately. One day though, I did start to get some spotting again. I was spotting, but it was like barely any spotting. Maybe thinking back, I was just really trying to convince myself that everything was normal, and I would have these little sharp pains here and there. I ended up going to the emergency room because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't another ectopic. At this point, I was just, what's the word I'm looking for? Hyper vigilant, because I knew how serious ectopics could be. I just need to know that everything is okay. I don't want to have that in the back of my mind. We go to the emergency room and they do the blood work, check my hormone levels again, and they do an early ultrasound again. And they again confirmed that I was having an ectopic pregnancy again in my right fallopian tube. Again, it was early enough where they gave me the option to do methotrexate or surgically remove my right fallopian tube. This doctor was telling me, like, I really think you should do the surgery, but like, I don't want to tell you what to do. You know, we can still try the methotrexate, and then if that doesn't work, I was just like, I cannot lose this right fallopian tube. Like, this is like my lifeline here. Like, not my lifeline, but like my pregnancy lifeline. Like, if I want to get pregnant naturally, I need my right fallopian tube because my left one is gone. And I'm like, I can't lose both of them. So if there's an option to do the methotrexate, I want to try that. I want to do that and still have my right fallopian tube. So they say, okay. They prepare the methotrexate and I get it, and it wasn't working at all. My hormone levels were not decreasing at all. If anything, they were still rising. One morning, I think it was the 22nd, I don't know. It was like a few days before Christmas, and I got a call. I got woken up by a call from the doctor's office, and they tell me that unfortunately, my hormone levels were not decreasing, the methotrexate was not working, and that I needed to come in for surgery right away. They were going to remove my right fallopian tube. And I hung up and I started to scream. I started to cry. I couldn't believe it. I was so distraught and in disbelief. And I was like, no, this cannot be happening. I couldn't believe it. It was the worst feeling I have ever felt. I would never wish that on my worst enemy, to feel that feeling that I felt that morning. I think I have a video of how I was feeling like right after that. I just got called from the hospital saying that the methotrexate that they were giving me for my ectopic is not working. So they have called me in, and I'm probably going to have to go into surgery again to remove my other fallopian tube. I have no more words. I think I cried all the tears that I could have this morning, like half an hour ago. I got the phone call. I knew what was happening. But it's like when you're getting ready for surgery, all you can think about is getting ready for surgery. So in that point, I was just like, okay, let's just get this done. My recovery was a lot better than the first time. I don't know why. I don't know if my body was just like, you know what, you've been through this before, girl. Like, it's nothing. I don't know. And I was here in this apartment now. I slept on this corner of the couch for like my whole recovery, like the whole week and a half, 2 weeks. It's reclinable, so I was able to do more things on my own. Like, I didn't really need help getting up from there because I would just push the button and it would lift me, so it would do all the work for me. And then I just had to kind of like scoop my butt up to the edge and then just like push myself up, and that's how I would get up every day. And using the bathroom, you know, same thing. I would just use things around me to kind of like help me. My mom came and helped me almost every morning. She came and made me breakfast and lunch, and Johnny would cook, and you know, I just really had the support from everybody. Christmas Eve, I couldn't leave, but all of my family came and we had our Noche Buena here. Christmas Eve dinner, we had it here, and like they made food and they all brought it here. And then on Christmas, everyone brought the presents here and we all opened them. It really helped having everybody here. And I think the holidays were a little bit of a distraction as well. And then after all of that settled, for I want to say from like January until April or May, I was just in, I want to say maybe like almost even in like a depression. It's been a really tough few days. I have recovered physically, but mentally, this has really taken a toll on me. I literally have tear stains on my sweater now. I'm just thinking about so much, and it's really taken a mental toll on me. A lot more than it's taken in the past. Like, this is really hard. I am at the nail salon. I am trying to get myself together to go in there and hopefully just feel a little bit better. I'm hoping that things are just looking up from here. Life keeps on lifing when you're going through grief and loss. Like, life keeps going. It doesn't stop for your mental health or for your grief or your loss or anything like that. So even though I was feeling these things inside, one thing that really did help me was journaling. I journaled so much, and that really did help me, and just reading the Bible and praying to God. I went through all the signs of grief. I grieved, I was in denial, and then I eventually accepted it. And I think I even went back to like grief, and I felt bad for myself. And I went through all of the things I went through. I think I've reached a point where I'm finally accepting what has happened. This is not the end. It is not the end. I can't get pregnant naturally, but I can still get pregnant. It's just gonna look a little different. My journey is going to be a little different. I think in being different, it's going to be that much more special. I'm super excited for this next journey and what is to come. And I'm actually really looking forward to it. The only option that I have now is IVF. This wasn't ever how I imagined that motherhood and my pregnancies would look like. I would never in a million years think that this would be me going through all of this, but that's just the reality, and I have accepted it and I am embracing it, and I'm actually really excited. I just feel like going through this journey is just going to make this so much more special. I'm just super excited. If you want to follow me through this journey, I will be documenting it all, because I think this is one of the most important things that is ever going to happen in my life. I think, who knows what the future holds, but I really want to document this. And I want to help anybody who's going through anything similar or going through a similar situation. And I'm just so happy that I've gotten to this place, because I was in such a dark place for a long time. I'm at the point where I just want to get some information before I do anything. Like, what is a good timeline? I'm 28 years old right now. And I just want to know, what are my next steps? What does it look like? How do I prepare? I want to make sure that I am in like the best physical and mental health that I can be before I even start that IVF journey. So if you guys want to follow me along for this journey, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell button so that you're notified every single time we post a video. If you guys have any questions or you want to share your story, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to read them all. I will reply to every single one of you. I just want to give a warning that there is some blood in some of these videos. So if you're sensitive to that, just be aware. So here I'm just removing the plastic that they put over the wound. They just put it there to protect it. I was gonna put some gauze over it and kind of just clean it out while I was in the shower. So I was just removing the plastic off. Yeah, it's kind of gross. I'm sorry. Look away if you don't want to see this. The belly button hurts so much. That was probably the most painful area. And so I was really careful with removing that. As you can see, I am super bloated. This is because of the gas that they use during surgery. So yeah, my belly was just like super bloated. My mom was helping me out with these gigantic pieces of tape.
Mojando, pero eso se cae solo. Míralo, ahí te
Sí,
da como
eso
una
después se cae
supurita.
solo.
Mira, y así, míralo, una supurita, porque es que tú te mueves tanto.
It's day 5. As you can see, by day 5, the bloating had already gone down quite a bit. It's day 6 post-surgery and my bloating has gone down. I haven't had to take my medication as often. I'm down to 2 ibuprofens a day. And this is what it looks like. These are supposed to fall off on their own by day 7, but if they don't, then I'll just remove them. I feel really good. I really am just like dying to get out of this house. So I've really just been on bed rest for the past 6 days and I really just want to get out, get some sun, go to Target. I really want to go to Target, so maybe by tomorrow I will be still feeling good and maybe be able to go outside and do a little shopping. I don't know what happened to the audio in this video, but it's 1 week post-surgery and I'm just removing this off of my scars. They never fell off on their own like they said they would, so I just took them off and they healed beautifully.